Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me here on my little YouTube channel. Please subscribe, tell your friends, because I'm trying to grow this little channel and I really appreciate your support. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called The War with Grandpa. The movie is rated PG. We haven't seen a PG movie out in theaters for a while. It's an hour and 34 minutes, and the movie review mom grade I'm going to give it is going to be revealed at the end of my review. Okay, so first of all, in a quick nutshell, The War with Grandpa is finally in movie theaters. For those of you who are brave enough and willing to go into theaters, you can watch it on the big screen. It had several failed releases back in 2017 and 2018 due to the Harvey Weinstein scandal. The family-friendly movie features flying dentures, trash-talking kids, lots and lots of practical pranks, and it's based on the book by Robert Kimmel Smith. So in a time of uncertainty and chaos in the world, it's nice to have finally a family-friendly movie that is lighthearted and just kind of dumb fun. Of course, it's predictable, but we all need something just kind of dumb and fun right now, right? Some people will think that the movie is absolutely hilarious, and other people will think it's just nonsense and even mean-spirited. So it's getting kind of mixed reviews. The trailer shows you exactly what to expect. So if you watch the trailer and you think, oh, that looks like harmless fun, then you'll probably enjoy the movie. But if you look at it and think, that is just weird, why would you be battling and be such a jerk to your own grandfather? Then don't watch the movie. So let me give you some tips for parents. Even though I said it's family friendly, there is some violence, there's bullying and name calling. There are some phrases uttered in the family's home like shut up and I hate you. Those were phrases I never allowed in my home, and I'm pleased to say I never heard them. So there's some alcohol, there's talk and portrayal of men dressing up as Santa. So there's a heads up for you parents. A teenage girl lies to her parents repeatedly saying she's just going to go out and go study when, of course, she's meeting up with her boyfriend. We don't really know everything that she and the boyfriend are up to, although we do see some kissing. You see an old man topless, and you see an old man pantless twice from the rear end, and basically things are covered up. So we don't have to see anything but, legs, basically. There are, as I mentioned, lots and lots of pranks. And you might need to point out to young children that in a real world, people would get really hurt by some of those things. In the movie, they're laughed off and nobody gets seriously hurt. There's an extremely extravagant birthday party that your kids may want you to duplicate. So you might have to talk to them about how this is a movie. Some people break the law. There are two not fully enunciated F-bombs, along with some anatomical terms spoken in Spanish, two scatological terms, 7 religious exclamations, and mild profanity. And in case your kid thinks that going to war with their grandparent looks like great fun, talk to him or her about how some of the people did get hurt in the movie, and a lot of things were damaged that would cost a lot of money, requiring expensive repairs and time, and there were hurt feelings. And of course, talk to your kids about showing respect, not only to their elders, but to everyone. So that was probably the biggest thing that bugged me was, the kid's just a brat. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you some themes that were positive in the movie. The mom, played by Uma Thurman, says, sometimes we have to make sacrifices for family. And then later you hear it uttered by another person in the movie. War hurts, and you hear that mentioned in the movie. Lack of respect for people and property, selfishness, parenting kids, and then also caring for aging parents. Jealousy, death of a loved one, and family. Now, there were plenty of things that I did like in the movie. First of all, Academy Award winner Robert De Niro. He is great at both drama and comedy, as evidenced by his very long Academy Award winning career. And despite his recent political controversial statements, he's an excellent actor and a fan favorite. This is actually the second movie that he's been in that has a title in the movie with the word grandpa. So watch for some of the references in the movie to other movies that he's been in. And the movie trailer references The Godfather. So some of the references are maybe movies that your kids will not know about for sure, but I thought it was kind of cute to include a few things like that. And then I haven't seen Oscar nominee Uma Thurman in quite a while. She looks great. It's nice to have her in the movie. The talented cast also includes the lovely Jane Seymour, funny man Cheech Marin, and the quirky Academy Award winning actor Christopher Walken, and they're all very good. Young Oaks Fegley does a great job and has a bright acting career, I think. I thought he was so sweet in the movie Pete's Dragon. So if you like him, I highly recommend you see that. And I will put the link to that video down below in the description. So one of the rules that the parents do have is that there are no members of the opposite sex allowed in the house when the parents are not there. I had that same rule growing up as a teenage girl. And of course, I had the same rule as I've been raising my own 4 boys. And I think it's a really good rule. There are some pretty funny scenes, like the dodgeball scene in particular. And it's cute how, really, despite all the pranks, how the grandfather and his grandson really do start to come together and love each other and spend time together, because they hadn't really spent as much time before, because they obviously lived in different homes. Now, Laura Marin will be most familiar to young audiences from the Disney Channel show Austin and Ally, where she plays Ally Dawson. She sings one of the songs in the movie called Point of War, too. So good for her. Keep watching after the very first song during the closing credits for some cute outtakes. There are quite a few running gags that go throughout the duration of the movie. Some of them work really well, some of them not so much. But there are some sweet family moments and some lessons learned at the end of the movie. Now, there were also some things I didn't like. First of all, I mentioned that the young boy in the movie is just kind of a brat and he's just being selfish. What's odd is at the beginning of the movie, when he learns he's going to have to give up his bedroom for his grandfather, his friend tells him that he should start a war with his grandfather and get what is rightfully his. And in the beginning, he recognizes that that's terrible advice. And he says to his friend, "You're a bad friend." And he's right, it is terrible advice. Yet he decides to go to war with his grandfather. He tells his grandfather, "You took something of mine and I want it back." Well, first of all, the parents should have sat down with the child long before the grandfather moved in and explained very well what was expected. Now, they do tell him that he's going to have to share his room, but it's not like this great conversation. I mean, the mom is tearing things off of the wall, and while she's telling him, he's kicked up to the attic, and there's no preparation for him made in the attic at all. As a young boy, my kids would have liked the attic. It would have felt like a secret hideaway or a fort. Of course, the charm would not have lasted very long unless we'd gone in and fixed it up. But anyway, of course, this is just a movie. The trailer does a much better job showcasing the snake scene than the actual movie did. And that's the scene that I referenced that alludes to the movie The Godfather. And I thought that was kind of funny. There's some real infantile humor that features Robert De Niro with his pants down twice, as I mentioned. And then there's this one pivotal moment where Uma Thurman just goes nuclear. She just goes crazy, understandably, sort of. And then just on a dime, she shifts her attitude completely. There was no like realization or an epiphany that the audience could see. She just kind of all of a sudden changed. And so I thought that was kind of weird. And for a great actor like she is, I just thought that more should have been drawn out of that scene or something, because it was kind of an important moment, at least for her character. One of the kids always says really crude things, and not all of the humor lands. At least it didn't for me. Some of the scenes take way too long. We get the punchline. Let's move on. For example, there's this one scene where the two girls are like, shh, shh, shh. And it just goes on forever. Like, okay, haha, we get it. Moving on. And there were a few other scenes like that were just drawn out and could have been spent on it in better ways on other things. I really like the actor Rob Riggle, and he plays a lot of likable characters in a lot of the movies that he's in. In this movie, I felt frustrated for him. He did a great job with the material that he was given, but he was basically considered 100% useless as a father. And so I felt bad that we see so many fathers in movies and in TV shows who are completely emasculated in their roles as the father of their home. It just seems like an old trope that we should have outgrown by now. And then the very end of the movie was just kind of dumb. I was like, wait, are they saying what I think they're saying? Well, has no one learned a lesson? Anyway, now I'll share just a few funny lines that I wrote. And actually, the first one's not that funny because I grew up with my father teaching me this. Robert De Niro, the grandfather, says fish and relatives stink after 3 days. And my father still believes that's true. A sweet line is when the young boy tells his grandfather after they had a really good day fishing, he says, I love you. And then he says, the war's still on. And you're like, okay. There's another scene where the youngest daughter is mediating, and Peter, the boy, says, you're supposed to be neutral. And the little girl says, I don't even know what neutral means. All right. And then a movie I would simply recommend if you like this movie is the classic Home Alone, where there's lots of pranks and destruction and, kids. All right. That's it for my review. The movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B. So be sure and share with your friends where to find good movie reviews at moviereviewmom.com, where you can see more written information as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel. Until next time, bye for now.